Hey guys, how you doing? I'm lasering up some spikes this morning, so it's Wednesday for me, 8:15 in the morning. I've spent the first sort of hour and a half of the day kind of trying to do a little bit of planning this morning and responding to people on email, etc. And then I come into the workshop and try and crack on from about 8 in the morning. I am lasering up some spikes. This is a horizontal long. So I'm going to use the Fibre laser just here, just behind me, which is a nice, useful bit of kit. And I'm just going to laser in all of our details, the type of spike it is, and then the installer details, which is always quite nice. I like to try and give a little bit of customization to all of our fittings. So, you know, if someone orders something, generally we'll try and do the laser customization on every single order, and we have done so far. I can't see why that wouldn't happen unless the laser went down. But it's something quite easy for us to do as we're sort of assembling it, ready to go out, etc. So here's the laser. What we do is we set up the laser to do this kind of like red box, which then allows me to adjust the spike and get it in the appropriate place. And then all I'm going to do is just hit the laser, and you won't see the back side, but you'll see this side, and it's super fast. There you go. This one here is the a new SWA mount that we've been working on. I've got a patent pending for it. It basically takes a WISKA box or a Hensel box. At the moment there's a Hensel box attached that JC Electrical sent me. In fact, he was the guy who asked me about a Hensel box. I'd never even actually heard of one, and I was like, yeah, you know, probably something we can add in. In fact, if anyone else has got any suggestions of any other boxes to be added to spikes, etc., it's all possible, so you know, why not. The lasering on this is wrong, as you can kind of if I can kind of get focused, if you can kind of see the positioning of it's not quite right. So some of the writing come over where the nuts and bolts are. It's not huge, but you know, so it's just a sample that's going out back to JC Electrical anyway to kind of see what he thinks. So this is the mount, and then basically there's some spikes that attach to the bottom of it, which I'll tell you what, I will grab the spikes now, I'm going to attach them and I'll kind of show you how that goes together. So for JC Electrical, I've lasered up some horizontal standards. Actually, these are the slightly older type, in that they've got like a bigger base. The newer type's got a slimmer base. Obviously, really, you know, from our point of view, it's actually to speed up the time of print and save some costs, because, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of profit to be made in these. Certainly when we sell them on to wholesalers, etc., I think we make about 60p a spike, something like that. Of course, that's gross, not net, so whole different story. Let me just grab a screwdriver. There we go. It's my old CK Dextra set when I was a Sparks. I love the CK Dextra because of that, you know, like the handle slightly oval, kind of helps you drive. Anyway, yeah, so the older spikes, so what we've been trying to do is trying to get the nuts tighter on the spikes, because the one thing that we were told from a couple of people was that it's really annoying when the nuts fall out. Completely understand that. So bit by bit we've kind of been adjusting the spikes and trying to get the nuts a lot tighter. So you know, as we sort of work our way through our stock, you'll start seeing more that are coming through that actually the nuts don't fall out anymore, which is useful. Essentially on these, I'm going to just try and hold the nuts in while I'm holding this up. I'm probably going to drop one, you know, that's going to happen. Essentially on this spike, you can either have a centre mounting, or you can do 2 spikes. Kind of depends on your ground and, you know, and how tight the cable's going to be, etc. In this case, I decided to send over one with 2 spikes. So I will get this in. And we do get asked about samples, etc., from time to time. I'm always more than willing to send some. So, you know, if you're an electrical contractor or a wholesaler, just get in touch and ask. and yeah, we can get out sample packs and things like that to you. It's not a problem at all. Makes sense for us because hopefully, you know, you'll buy the product later on. Yeah. So I suppose it takes a little bit of time just to get this together. But the idea is that if you've got an area where there was no possible way of actually fixing your box, your WISKA, your Hensel, whatever box you're using, you know, there's no like fence posts, no walls, nothing like that to be able to fix your box. You know, you're not going to really want to terminate and I'm sure plenty of you have done it. I'm sure I've done it. You know, you've terminated armoured into a box and left it flat on the floor. But we all know that it's not really great, is it? It's not long term. It's not as accessible. Plants mature and grow over them. I think the boxes, personally, if they're like low in the ground and less easily seen, sometimes they're you know, subject to sort of can be subject to damage. I mean, there are times when that's not a problem, but you know, it's kind of like the thinking. But if you want to get the box above ground and nice and accessible, this is what this is meant to do. Originally, I think a lot of people were buying our vertical longs for that very purpose. So that there is a vertical long. Problem with that, it's you know, it's fine if you're using a high tough NY or a flex. That's the length when attached to the box. I haven't got the, I think the bracket's inside. No, there's no bracket. Let me find a bracket and I'll just kind of show you how that goes together quickly. So, when you buy your 308 WISKA box, inside the box is this little grey bracket. A lot of people think just chuck these away, but this concept actually uses the grey bracket. So the idea is that these holes mount up or line up with the bracket, and then you push the box onto that bracket. Job done. If you use a 108 box, and if those of you who don't know what a 108 box is, a 108 box is this box. It's a bit cheaper than a 308, and if you don't need the 20mm knockouts and you just need the membrane push-in portions for flexes and NYs, etc., then this box is probably your best bet. And on this box, what you actually do is you use the holes actually line up through the little, there's little membraned outside holes on the inside of the box, and the screw pushes straight through that and screws in. But the problem is that say you're using your 308 box, and I've lost it now, what have I done with it? There it is. Using your 308 box, by the time you're in the ground, probably to there, you've not really got enough room for, by the time your armoured glands come out, because, you know, they'll go out like that. You'd have to basically dig quite a big hole to have them sweep, but by the time you've dug a big hole, the spike's not going to be secure. Someone gave me the feedback of using a bit of 20mm conduit. They said actually, because they really like these, but they were just going to use some 20mm conduit, so they bashed 20mm conduit in the ground, stuck the spike into the 20mm conduit so it sat about there, and then mounted their armour to it. But, you know, for me, that's not a commercial solution, is it? So this is what this is meant to solve. So that obviously, that goes to the ground to there. You can use horizontal longs as well. So I showed one earlier. Horizontal long would be down to there. So that's a bit longer if you need to. You could use one or two. And the idea is that this is long enough to be able to get your gland and then sort of sweep into the ground. And if you need to, not that that was intended like that, but basically you can use these holes to use like secure the cables with a cable tie or whatever to kind of try and keep it taut and in place. I've got a couple of these on test with Louise Tarlin Electrical. They've been really helpful with giving me feedback, especially John's been coming back all the time and sort of suggesting, oh, we need to improve this isn't strong enough, etc. It broke. It broke a load of times, so they're still out on test actually, which is why they're not on the website yet. But yeah, that's the idea of this. So you've got your height there. I think price wise, we're probably going to be looking at a trade price of around about late £3, maybe £4 for the actual for the SWA mount, and then you obviously have to buy your horizontal spikes as well. But yeah, you know, I mean, at least that gives you an idea of kind of cost. So you know where the job has the sort of budget for it. This is probably ideal, really, and I think it's quite a neat solution. I'd love to know what your feedback is there. You know, let me know in the comments. Direct message me and let me know. Anyway, separately we had some issues with some pond lights, and again, forgive the mess. I'm just going to turn this round. We had some issues with some pond lights. I've got one in here at the moment in the tube. We've just kind of taped it up. This tube is just a little over 2 meters tall. Normally we keep the water level up here. I haven't topped this water up in ages. So yeah, and surprisingly it's not gone stagnant. So yeah, what I want to do, I'm hoping we're going to take this apart and see whether or not there's any water in it. I'm hoping there's none now. We had to replace the top because the top kept letting water in, which took us a little while to work out that it was the top, but eventually, yeah, we did. We worked out it was the top that was the issue. Yeah, as I was saying, we had an issue with a couple that had water ingress. Not great for a pond light. I mean, my first pond lights that I built were all completely resin sealed. They are still going. I mean, they've only been in for sort of like a year and a half maybe, so you would expect them to still be going, but you know, that's kind of not the point. I mean, I wanted them to be replaceable, you know, with the whole O-ring replaceable sort of situation. So that's what this is. So it's all O-rings sealed together. So let's have a little look. Let's see if there's any. There's water inside it. What a nightmare. Okay. Well, we need to get these out to. These ones are for JC Electrical. So I need to try and work out a solution ASAP and get these sorted. All right. Anyway, I'll get to work on that. See you guys soon.
Do I need to press reset?
No, just insert.